What up, nerds? My name is Leslie Smith. Welcome to the Nerdy Narrative. On this channel, I like to talk about all sorts of bookish related fun in the science fiction, fantasy, horror, and manga genres. In today's episode of fun, we are going to go over my wrap up for January 2021. I will start with my lowest rated and work my way up to my highest rated. So that means we will start with my DNF for the month, and that is Crime and Punishment by Fyodor Dostoevsky. I love his writing. That was not the issue with this book. I actually enjoyed the story. The problem is it was repetitive, and not in the same thing happened over and over, but we kept being brought to the brink of a certain action being taken. You're basically just waiting to happen the whole time, and then it'd be like, nah, it's not gonna happen. So that just kept happening over and over, and it just got to where it was aggravating me, and I was tired of waiting, and I was like, you know what, I'm done with this book. I DNF'd it about 400 pages in. It just really needed to be knocked off. I'll try it again later, and it'll probably just be one. I read one chapter a day. But yeah, this one did not make the cut with me this month. Read volumes 1 through 7 for Ouran High School Club manga. So I averaged the star rating for all 7 volumes, and it comes out to an average of 3.85. And with this manga, the chapters don't flow linearly. They're very different, and they just flip-flop around. One may be character development driving the plot forward. It may be a completely unrelated piece of fluff. So the chapters don't really connect with each other. And once I decided to slow it down to reading 1 chapter a day, so by doing it 1 chapter a day, it gave me the opportunity to step back out of the story. And so if the next day, the next chapter was completely different, I didn't carry over any irritation at it not continuing the same idea as the one before it. So I'm definitely enjoying it way more now that I'm doing it chapter by chapter. And and it's not that the 3.85 is bad. I just found a better way to consume this manga in a way that allows me to enjoy it more. Next up is The City of Stairs by Robert Jackson Bennett, which is the first book in the Divine Trilogy series. I gave this one a 4-star rating. Absolutely loved it. 100% continuing this trilogy. Cannot wait. What I loved about this was the plot, the gods, the divinities, the murder mystery, and political intrigue. Loved all of those things. What I didn't like, I did not connect to any of the characters until the very end of the book, and then I only connected to one of them. But fortunately, the plot was so stellar that it totally made up for that for me. My next 4-star read is Chapel Street by Sean Paul Murphy. This book was so good. This one, what I loved about it more than anything, it is inspired by true events that happened in the author's life. I loved the religious journey in this book. That is probably my favorite thing. Guys, I love spiritual warfare. I don't know why, I just really do, and it was done so well. It was such a fast and flowing read. I really enjoyed it, but I won't spend a whole lot of time talking about it because I did do a dedicated review, which I'll have linked down below for you to check that out, but I really enjoyed this book. Now we get into the 5-star reads, and I had quite a few. The first one is The Flashlighters, which is book 4 in the Nightmareland Chronicles by Daniel Barnett. You guys know I am a total fan of Daniel Barnett. Prose is just absolutely gorgeous. The mental imagery that is painted by his words is just absolutely gorgeous. Not to mention, he always gets Daniel Serra to do his book covers, at least for the first 4 books in the series. Daniel Serra has done the art, and they are gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. This one is my favorite so far, but this one I can't tell you a whole lot because it would totally spoil the first 3 if you haven't read them. It is a post-apocalyptic horror that takes place after the sun goes out and how humanity is surviving and adapting. My next 5-star read is Scattered Little Pieces by Wayne Finland. Scattered Little Pieces is a collection of drabble. Drabble are stories that are exactly 100 words. That's really complicated to do. If you don't believe me, sit down and try it. This was my first exposure to Drabble, and I quite like it. I use this as my nightstand book, so I would read 5 to 10 stories a night before going to bed, and I just really grew to look forward to that time and enjoyed these stories. They were funny, sad, weird, scary, heartwarming. I just absolutely adored this book, and I really hope that Wayne intends to write another collection, or he's already working on one, because I am going to have it. So my next 5-star read for January is The Only Good Indians by Stephen Graham Jones. I cannot convey to you how much I love this book, but I'm going to try in an upcoming review. Oh guys, this book was absolutely phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. If you haven't read it, please read this book and come talk to me about it. It is about 4 Native American friends who go on a hunting trip, which doesn't sound horrific at all, does it? If you're interested in knowing more, be looking for that spoiler-free review coming up in the next few days. My next 5-star is probably going to shock the pants off of some of you guys, but it's Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo. Guys, this is not a book I would normally ever pick up. It's a YA fantasy, just romance with a little light magic in there. I mean, it is fluff with a capital F, but I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I picked it up after I finished Gardens of the Moon and what I read of Crime and Punishment. Both of those really gave me a mental workout, so I think I just needed something light and fun to just break that up, and this was perfect. I devoured this book. I loved it. I can't wait to finish the trilogy and then hit up the duology that comes after. I think it's 6 of Crows or something like that. I almost sidetracked my February TBR so I could do that, but I didn't. At least not yet. And then my final 5-star read for the month of January is Gardens of the Moon, book 1 of the Malazan series by Steven Erikson. Woo! I was not expecting to like this book so much. I knew that I would enjoy it, but I didn't think I was gonna love it. I loved the complexity of this book. Definitely give you a mental workout. I highly suggest taking it 1 chapter at a time. You just kind of start out what feels like right in the middle of the story, and you miss the backstory and you're lost, but oh my word, the payoff, wow, the character development, the magic, ooh, that magic is hard hitting, and you just get slapped in the face with it in chapter 1, and I lived for that. Absolutely love this book. Can't wait to continue the series. So glad that I finally picked it up. So as far as my least enjoyed read of the month, you're probably thinking it would be Crime and Punishment since I DNF'd it, and it's not that I didn't enjoy it, it just went on too long. And then my lowest rated reads were the Ouran High School Host Club manga. I just wish I'd had the presence of mind to realize that I should just read 1 chapter a day sooner. I think my rating would be higher. But if you just threatened to kick my dog unless I picked one that I enjoyed the least, I would go with the manga. I would have to go with Ouran High School Host Club. As far as favorite read of the month, that is so hard. And if I'm being honest with you, it's gonna be between The Only Good Indians and Shadow and Bone. Shadow and Bone, I think, would be my most enjoyed read of the month. But favorite read, like just overall, I'm gonna have to go with The Only Good Indians. Guys, this book was so good. It was so good. It just, oh man, just, I need you to read this book, because my favorite part about this book is a huge freaking spoiler, and I can't tell you, but oh my gosh, it was just one that I immediately wanted to reread. And then once I researched the Blackfeet Native American beliefs and customs, their culture, that alone, that itself made me want to read it again. I just cannot gush about this book enough. Just absolutely cannot gush about it enough. Again, please catch that review coming up in a few days. That is a wrap on January 2021 for the books that I read. So you know what my favorite read was, what my most enjoyed read was, and what my least enjoyed read was. Hit me up in the comments down below and tell me what yours were. Guys, thank you so much for watching today. I hope you enjoyed the time you spent here with me. I hope your morning has gotten off to a great start. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, and I'll see you soon.